class. So we're going to finish up these last few problems for 9-2. So this is part, I don't know, what are we on now? Part 4? Maybe part 3? I can't remember, but the last one. All right, cosecant negative pi over 4. So what we do is we draw our triangle, and negative or counterclockwise, pi over 4 is if we break up pi into 4 equal parts, we're moving one of them, which pi over 4 is 180 divided by 4, which is 45 degrees. Okay, and negative 45 degrees. So this is a 45 degree reference angle. So with 45, 45, 90, we have 1, negative 1, and radical 2 as our side measures. Now cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, so it's r over y. And r is radical 2, and y is negative 1, so that makes negative radical 2. All right. And then the next one, sine 4 pi over 3, is we're going to break up pi into 3 parts. So 1, 2, 3 to pi, and then 1 more third right there. So this is a pi over 3 angle, and pi over 3, you replace pi with 180, that's 60 times 4, which is 240. And if you subtract 180, you get 60 degrees. So this is a 60 degree angle, making this 30. So across from the 30 is 1, which is negative. Across from the 60 is radical 3, which is also negative, and the hypotenuse is 2. Sine is y over r, which is negative radical 3 over 2. Okay. Tangent, negative 5 pi over 4. So tangent is, let's see, we're going to have to move in the negative direction 5 parts when we break pi up into 4 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another a 5th part. All right, so that's negative 5 pi over 4. And this is going to be pi over 4, or 45 degrees. So we have negative 1, 1, radical 2 as our side measures. And the tangent is y over x, which is 1 over negative 1, which is negative 1. All right, sine 19 pi over 6. So we go 1, 2, 3, 3 to here, 4, 5, 6. We have to go 19 of these. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So that reference angle is 1 more pi over 6. So right there, pi over 6 is 30 degrees. It's a 30 degree angle. So again, we're breaking pi up into 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we continue till we get to 19. Right here is 18 pi over 6. Here is 19 pi over 6. So that's just a pi over 6, which is 180 over 6, which is 30 degrees, 30 degree angle. 1, 2, radical 3, and then both are 1 and radical 3 are negative because they're going back and down. And then sine is opposite, or y over r. So negative 1 over 2. And then our last one, secant of pi over 2. Pi over 2 is 90. So you're breaking pi into 2 parts. 1, 2, which is right there. Pi over 2, which is 180 over 2 if you want to use our formula. It's 90 degrees. So what is that coordinate right there? Our coordinate is 0 over and 1 up, and our r is 1 because it's a quadrantal angle. Secant is, let's see, it's a reciprocal of cosine, so r over x. R is 1, x is 0, so that one is undefined. Right? And that's how you're going to find all of these angles. You do have some homework to do here. I am going to do a couple of problems. I'm going to go home because I'm very tired. It's been a long day today. All right, I'm going to just go ahead and do number 1. Which trig functions are positive for angles? This is on your homework for 9-2. Which trig functions are positive for angles? So if they're terminating, that means their termination point is in quadrant 4. This is quadrant 4 right here. So positive in quadrant form, if you remember, all students take calculus, so it's cosine theta. And secant, it's reciprocal, secant theta. Or if you remember, you have a positive x, a negative y, and a positive r. So anything with just x and r, which are cosine theta and secant theta, are going to be positive in quadrant 4. If you look at number 5, if tangent theta is less than 0, that means tangent theta is negative, and secant theta is greater than 0, that means positive. Now, if secant theta is positive, then cosine, it's reciprocal. Cosine theta is positive. So, let's see, tangent is negative here and here, because you have to have one or the other, x or y negative, for tangent to be negative. Cosine is positive here and here, because x has to be positive. So the only quadrant that fits both conditions is quadrant 4. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out a little bit. Now let's do just a couple of these, if I have time, on your homework. Let's try, I don't know, tangent negative 30. So I'm going to move down 30 degrees. Okay, drop my reference triangle. This is 30, so across from the 30 is 1. I always remember 30 across is 1. Hypotenuse is 2, other leg is radical 3. And then make your 1 negative because it moves down, so the y is negative. Tangent, remember, is y over x, so that means negative 1 over radical 3. And then rationalize. By timesing by radical 3, you get negative radical 3 over 3. Okay? Let's do secant negative 225. So negative 225, that means I have to go negative 180 plus another 45. Drop of 45. This is 45, 45, 90. So negative 1, positive 1, and radical 2. Secant is the reciprocal of cosine, which is r over x. So r is radical 2 over negative 1 makes negative radical 2. All right, practice with that, see how you do, and then let me know if you have any questions. All right, have a great night. Good luck with your homework.